Can emotions be traded? Any trader will tell you that the price action that you see in the charts are all linked to emotions. So in essence, by trading, you are trading people's fear and greed. In this video, I will use the Fear and Greed Index that measures the emotional sentiment of the market and see if this can be traded for significant gains to the upside. So watch this video till the very end to see how it's done. Remember, I use Bybit and Mexi to do most of my trading, where I buy Bitcoin and all of my favorite altcoins. Down in the description of this video, here you will see the first two links down in the description: 20% reduction in fees when you sign up with Bybit, also a $30,000 bonus depending on how much you deposit and trade, and also Mexi, where I do most of my day trading, the exchange with the lowest fees, also a $20,000 bonus depending on how much you trade and deposit. Go sign up with these links right now. Let's dive into the value. Here you'll see I'm on the Fear and Greed Index, and basically in a nutshell how it works is it has a little indicator that shows you how much greed and how much fear is currently in the market that's being measured. As of today, you can see with the price of Bitcoin and where we are currently sitting at 67%, which is equal to greed. And the higher you move here into the green, that's considered extreme greed. And then the lower you move here into the red, that is considered extreme fear in the market. So in essence, how this Fear and Greed Index works is to say that when you reach the extreme fear part over here, that is potentially a great buying opportunity. And when you reach extreme greed here on this side, that is potentially where you need to look at taking some profits. Going down here a little bit, here they also explain it very well. This is a plot of the Fear and Greed Index over time, where a value of 0 means extreme fear, while a value of 100 represents extreme greed. And what I've done over here is, this is the chart, the maximum chart that I've selected over here, and this is all the data that it's showing me since 1 Feb 2018. So what I've done over here is I've just plotted two little blue lines, and I wanted to see if I take this to the extreme and apply the method that I will only sell Bitcoin when it's above the 90 or touching the 90 level over here, and I will only buy Bitcoin when we are in extreme fear here at the bottom below the 10 level. So I've then plotted these little dots where you buy, and so forth, and where you sell, you take some profits here to the upside. Now let's take that Fear and Greed chart that I've plotted and convert it back into the chart of Bitcoin. Here you can see on the price of Bitcoin, what I've done is I've also plotted those lines that I plotted on the Fear and Greed Index, and I've added them to the Bitcoin chart here on the weekly time frame. And I just wanted to see, well, if I applied the strategy where I bought when I saw extreme fear and I sold when I saw extreme greed, would you have still made significant gains here to the upside? And the results are actually quite surprising. Let us go through it here quickly. Here you will also see since February 2018 up until where we are right now, you would have only bought Bitcoin 8 times. So this is not really a strategy where you're trading in the market, you're in and out of the market, you're day trading, you're scalping. This is purely from a long-term investment perspective to say that, can you trade emotions? If I only have to buy Bitcoin 8 times in a duration of 6 years, I mean, that can still give you significant gains to the upside, and it doesn't require a lot of charting or any trading experience. Right, so the first time you would have bought Bitcoin is just translating this back to the Fear and Greed over here. Here you can see during 2018, February, the beginning of the month, is where you would have bought your first bit of Bitcoin. And what I've done to keep the calculations simple, I just said if you bought every single time the fear was below the 10 level over here, you would have bought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. To keep the numbers round and to make it balance nicely, you would have bought $100 here, $100, 100, and 100. Every time you would have just bought $100. Right, but also keeping the profit so that it can accumulate to the upside. Translating this back into the chart of Bitcoin, I have overlaid those little dots that I drew here on the price of Bitcoin. And here you can see it is not perfect, but it does give you a very close indicator to where the bottom is and where the tops are. So zooming into this price action over here, let's just take it step by step. You would have bought your first $100 during February 2018, and then Fear and Greed went a little bit higher, but then you can see Look at how close to the bottom you bought over here the second time you added your second $100. And then you would have sold here at the top of this cycle here to the upside when the fear and greed index was at extreme greed. And then you started nibbling again. So all I did is I just plotted those dates onto the price of Bitcoin, and you can see that it is very close to catching some of the bottoms, right? Okay, no indicator is perfect, but you would have caught it very close to the bottom over here where you are buying at exactly the right times when there's extreme fear in the market. So here you would have bought, here you would have bought, right? And again, here you would have sold. You would have started buying here and nibbling here again. And look at where you would have bought here. Also again at the bottom. And then again from the 2021 bull cycle, you would have seen, you would have sold a little bit early. So we hit extreme greed when we hit this level over here. The one thing I did notice that if I translate these pivots back into the fear and greed index, you could have caught these tops and cashed out at exactly more or less the highs over here. Okay, if you just dragged your line a little bit down and said, I am going to start taking profits when we go above the 80 level over here, and you will see those two pivots that I'm talking about is right over here. Okay, so if you drew your line over here by the 80 mark, and you start selling when we start hitting these levels in this area, you will see that you would have caught these two tops over here. Right, but for the simplicity of this video, I just kept it standard to say that anything over 90 you sell and anything below 10 you buy. Right, then moving along a little bit further here into the price of Bitcoin, you would have seen that you would have, during this bear market, you would have bought over here, you would have bought over here, and a nice little bottom range that you found over here. And then only you would have started taking profits with this entire rally here to the upside, where the first extreme greed kicked in, translating this back here onto the fear and greed index when we hit a little bit over 90, where you would have started taking profits. And you can see this is now where we are currently getting a little bit of a correction, but you would now be in nice little profits over here. Let's translate this back into a little Excel spreadsheet that I drew up to see that how much profit would you have made by buying the extreme fear and by selling at the extreme greed. Here I prepared a small little spreadsheet where I did the calculations from 2018 up until today. How much profit would you have made? And here you can see you started with $100, and depending on the losses and wins, every time you bought, I just added another $100, added another $100, and you can see no indicator is perfect. So there are losses along the way, minus 51%, minus 47%, minus 27%, minus 32%. But you can see that the wins are far greater than the losses because you are buying when people are extremely fearful and you are selling when people are extremely greedy. So translating this back into how much profit you would have made, just highlighting this in black to see what could have happened if you started buying $100 during every dip from a fear and greed perspective up until today. And you will see if you invested $800, that is the 8 times that you would have bought, you would have made $6,211, which is a total of $7,000. Give or take, $7,011. For me, this is still significant gains to the upside. So to answer that question, yes, by trading the fear and greed index, it does look like you can still make significant profits here to the upside. Thanks for watching. Now you can see with very few trades over the last 6 years, you could have still made significant gains to the upside by simply trading people's emotions. If you think this was amazing, wait until you see the video on how to trade the moon in the sky for significant gains to the upside. Until the next one, thanks for watching. Cheers for now.